Rune crafting is that's what Tears of Guthix is for.
That's true.
Oh, I'm so glad that our intro started with your mouth full of food.
Dude, I'm hungry.
Dude, who eats at 10:13 p.m.?
Me and my wife.
Why you eat so late? Dude, it's not good. You're gonna be bloated.
I didn't want to eat on stream.
Oh, dude, everybody does.
Yeah, I try not to all the time.
Okay, so hey, welcome to a very impromptu podcast. The Grind is what it was once called in the ancient tomes of yore.
The ancient tomes of yore?
I think I meant lore, but it came out as that. It feels good to just be talking. I have not made a video now in about a month and a half, but thankfully I am joined by my very well-esteemed co-host who has been popping off on Twitch. He's like much more successful and handsome and popular than me now, and I'm very offended by it. How are you doing, Necro Circus?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
Dude, I'm all right. I've just been, much like yourself, extremely busy with life,
I respect that, yeah.
Don't have I want to play RuneScape, but we don't have time for RuneScape because I have a daughter now. You have a child on the way. Sorry if you didn't want to mention that on your YouTube video.
No, we totally just released the gender reveal on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/necrocircus. Shameless plug.
Ooh.
We did a gender reveal, and if you want to see what the gender is, you have to go and check that out.
Nice plug. So yeah, I could I could really seriously cut that out if you don't want that on YouTube, but
No, that's fine.
Okay, so we've been busy. It kind of happened out of nowhere, honestly, and I think that's just the moral of life, I guess, is it hits you hard and you never really recover.
It hits you hard, it doesn't spit on it. It's just a rough time all around.
So he's bought a house. I am now currently renting my own home. It's very, very weird. We're adults and we're still playing RuneScape.
Look, I feel like if that's the worst thing we do, we're doing fine.
Dude, yeah, fair enough. So we had some free time finally, and we were like, you know what? What better way to come back to the channel after a near month and a half absence? I'm so sorry for that, by the way. I never meant it to be that long. So obviously, there's been it got to be there was 2 or 3 days between videos. Then it turned into there was a week between videos. I'm in the middle of I transitioned from working in person at a school that I'd been at for years to working virtually, and that was a transition. I've been trying to find other jobs to, get money, obviously, because the YouTube thing's not working out. But that's my own fault. Anyway, so there's just been lots of adjustments, trying to find time to record, because used to what I would do is I would stay up all night and record videos. But now I'm old and I get tired by 9:30 or 10, after my long day. And so I just never have time to record anymore. And then I was going to, because so many cool updates were happening, that we're going to be talking about, because we've missed months of content. Necro himself probably missed even more because he doesn't play as often.
Dude, it's been a long time since we made one of these suckers.
I don't even know, actually. Well, we've done a few. I was going to say, I don't even know if we had any on the new channel, but we have a couple. We have 10 or 12, I think. So we used to do this podcast every week, and we would, talk about any gaming-related stories or things that were going on in RuneScape, or sometimes we would just talk about, big events going on in the world. And then we just kind of, ran out of time to make an hour-long video every week, and then you've heard the story now, what happened. So we're here, and we're gonna do our best to make a freaking podcast.
Heck yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we remember how to do this.
Dude, like I was saying earlier, it just feels so good to talk, even to you. I'm so alone. I feel I haven't got out of the house in so long. And it just feels nice to talk to other people. I was going to be recording by myself too, and I was like, man, I'm going to have to be just talking into the ether, but I'm so glad to have somebody else on the other side of the microphone.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that we had some time together to produce some quality content.
Dude, yeah, me too. So before we get into the super duper stuff, now that we've kind of talked about why we've been gone, I do want to say just really quick, I am going to try, I'm not done with YouTube. YouTube has always been, my dream, or at least, some sort of online thing, whether it's YouTube down in the future. Maybe it'll be Twitch. I don't know. Anyway, that's never going to stop. I know I want to get back into regular uploading, and maybe this recording with Necro here will help spark me back into the zone. But don't give up on me. I'm coming. I promise. Don't make it weird. Anyway, I got a clue bottle. Anyway, so right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to just be kind of talking about some things that we've missed in old school RuneScape, major things that we want to talk about, especially because I want to hear what Necro's thoughts are. So right now, I'm just kind of fishing some minnows just because I don't know what to do on this game right now, so I'm just kind of fishing. Necro, what are you doing?
I am still... I think I said this last time we did one of these, but I am still working on my quest requirements so I can never ever skill again.
Okay.
So I am getting my thieving to 60 because I'm at 55 like a pleb, and after that, rune crafting is the last one.
Dude, I'm telling you, Tears of Gothics, man. What's your? Do you know what my thieving level is?
I don't want to know.
It's 93. And I don't have the damn pet. I don't have the stupid raccoon.
I'm hoping that sometime during this video, I get the raccoon.
Don't you have like 5 pets?
I have 2 pets. I have the squirrel from agility.
Oh, the squirrel is so cool.
And I have the rock golem from mining.
No, that one's not as cool. But the squirrel, I'm jealous of.
Yeah, the squirrel is... obviously the best one.
I just wish I had a pet. I know I've told this story a million times, but I'm going to tell it again because it's been a while. On my old account, which was just Zodinius, my main account, although this account is now much better than my main account, I had the fishing pet, the heron. I got him, I was so excited, and then a week later, I freaking died with him, and I didn't know you could insure him, and I cried. I literally cried.
That's my favorite story. Next to the one of how you owe me money for rolling something in RS3 once.
That's why we don't play RS3 anymore, because it's a gambling problem. Yeah, so I technically and literally in all of the senses owe Necro here about $500 because one day he was staying the night at my house, and we were playing. I think it was just the live game at the time. I don't think there was old school.
At the time, it was like it was considered just RuneScape. There wasn't OSRS or anything like that, if that ages us at all. And, yeah, it was when I think the Squeal of Fortune just released.
I believe so. They had just come out. It was new, the pay-to-win thing was, or not necessarily pay-to-win, I'm not saying it's pay-to-win, but that's what it felt like was coming out at the time. It was on the collapse, and... there was all kinds of, random prizes you can get, and, like, one of the super rare loots was... What was it again? I don't remember exactly what it was.
It was a stupid shark hat.
Yes, okay. It was a little cosmetic shark hat. And I was like, bro, okay, you pull this key right now and you land on that shark hat. I will pay you $500. There's no way you're getting it. And the son of a gun lands right on it. And I'm like, oh, bro. I gotta do this now.
There was like a 200 mil option right next to it, and my dumbass decided to go for the shark helmet.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a verbal agreement regardless, but I think we might have even shook on it, and I'm like, oh, bro, you're going to be on your deathbed. I'm going to be like, I got to get you that $500. So that's the real funny RuneScape story, but I still like my crying over a virtual pet bird. Although, imagine the tears when my red helmet finally fades away. That's my goal. That's my secret, bro. I'll never lose hardcore Iron Man status because I'll just never play. I'll just never play the game.
Yeah, if you don't play, eventually you'll just be the longest living one, right?
Exactly. Time-wise, yeah, man. So anyway, now that we've got the introductions out of the way, let's talk about some major things that are going on in this world of this game. Obviously, one of the biggest things is Jagex has been not necessarily under a lot of heat, but there's lots of people concerned with a bunch of nerfs coming up to the game that has not happened yet, but has pretty much all been confirmed.
Good job, Reddit.
Yeah, literally. So Reddit kind of made them ease off the trigger a little bit, but it doesn't affect. Again, I hate this look on it, but I think all the time, it doesn't affect me because I'm not at that stage of the game right now. So, like, the biggest issue is the blowpipe. They're nerfing the blowpipe, and the blowpipe is so critical to the game and how you advance because it's necessary for, like, we were just talking about this, it's necessary for things like getting your Infernal Cape because it's the fastest, like, DPS ranged weapon. And so, like, the Inferno, sorry, me and Necro were just talking about how it's literally like you have to be pixel perfect, and people will plan like these like strategies, and now all of that's going to be nothing because it's going to be, you know, completely nerfed, and it's such a main item in the game. So it's interesting. Oh, fucking stupid minnows. I forget I can't curse in these. Well, I can with 10 minutes now. Sorry, it's been a while. So I don't know. It's interesting to me. Some of these things. I don't know how familiar are you with everything that's being patched or nerfed? Do you?
So I looked into it prior to this because I planned on making a video with you about it at some point. Hopefully before it released, which thank goodness we got to this before, you know, Reddit eased up. So to me, what made RuneScape back in the day was the thought that when you saw somebody with Barrow's armor, or you saw somebody with Dragon Chain, or, you know, they were able to go and kill these seemingly difficult bosses with gear that people would just look at now and be like, what is wrong with you? Why are you using that? So to me, the nerf of the blowpipe, while I am not thrilled, don't confuse that. I love my blowpipe. I have a blowpipe. I am at that stage of the game. And let me tell you, that sucker is...
Yeah, dude, now, it's super nice, for sure.
Exactly. And so I think that while it would suck, it would be nice to kind of shake up the game a bit. Like, I'm in the ballpark of, yeah, I'm not happy about it, but if it's what they want to do to diversify the game and maybe make the game a tad... Because let's face it, at this point, the Inferno isn't exactly what it used to be either. Like, I'm standing in this bank right now, and there's at least, like, 20 people with an Inferno cape on.
Now, really quick, not to interrupt you, there is a huge thing going on with Jagex right now and trying to... people are paying other people to get their Infernal capes for them.
Yeah.
So I just want that out there. They may not be legitimate capes. Anyway, please continue.
And that, again, makes it even more to the point where maybe it's not a bad thing that they're going to do this. I feel like the truly good players, looking at you, Wooks, who can literally play this game blindfolded and kill Jad and make me hate my life, I think that they won't suffer. I think that they will find a way around it. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's going to be as now, it'll be detrimental to the everyday player like myself. And it just won't be as easy. Like, I can't just go into, like, a fight cave and just get a fire cape if I die with one of my 6 that I currently have and don't have any more. You know what I mean? Like, I'll have to plan out what I'm going to use now, because it's not just, oh, well, let me grab my blowpipe. But I think that, you know, it would help a lot with the people who are paying to get these capes done for them. And I think that it would also help the game diversify itself. Again, I'm not happy about the nerfs, but I also understand where they're coming from. I get it. And I wouldn't mind seeing some different item sets around RuneScape. That would be nice, rather than looking at, like, you know, literally best in slot gear for every scenario.
Yes, thank you. That's like my main thing too. Again, I know people aren't going to take my word very seriously because I'm literally not at that stage of the game right now, so this has no effect on me. Because I don't have these items, so I don't know how good they are. I know they're good, but I'm so excited because, like you said, it's so seeing every player in the exact same armor set. I mean, that what I don't care about that. I want to see some cool new, like RuneScape 3 has all kinds of cool armor and all kinds of cool things. Now, granted, they also have a lot of cosmetics, but Even just the armors in the game, like they have like 20 different tiers of like rune armor, just for an example. And I wish that's I think Jagex's main point here is they're trying to introduce new items into the game, but it's hard to do that when nobody's going to use them because the blowpipe is literally the best weapon in the game, and you can get it pretty mid game if you're good enough, like you were saying. Depending on the player, they can get the blowpipe, assuming they don't buy it, assuming, they're trying to kill Zulrah for it and all that stuff. Obviously, anyone can just go to the GE and buy one, but, to be able to actually use it.
Exactly. And see, like, then you have players like me who get lucky with their medium clue when they're leveling up and then get ranger boots and then sell it and then buy a blowpipe. Like, literally, that is the game plan for most people.
Yeah, exactly.
Get enough money for a blowpipe, get the level for the blowpipe, win RuneScape.
Right.
That is literally how RuneScape works right now, and that shouldn't be that way. I do think now, and like you said, there's a lot of like in RS3 tiers of armors and weapons and stuff like that, and I think that could be a way to go. But I think a lot of the people don't understand that in order for this game to progress, things have to change. I understand that this is old school RuneScape. I understand that we all voted to keep this game as pure and as, nostalgic as we can. But you have to understand that if you truly enjoy a game, you need to let it attempt to evolve so that it can live, so that it has longevity. Because otherwise, this game will become stagnant and it will just die. That is how games work, unfortunately, because eventually you're just going to look at the game and be like, what do I want to go do? Oh, nothing, because I've done it all. Like, I don't care, because right now, even for me, I have max combat with the exception of, prayer and magic. But, like, for a long time, when I played this game, it's like, oh, I'm going to go do Slayer. Oh, but I don't want to go do Slayer because it's literally the same gear for pretty much every single monster. Like, I don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? And so for them to switch weapons up and make me have to be like, okay, well, this is clearly... Now, I know there's currently best in slots for different monsters, but that doesn't matter whenever the weapons are as good as a blowpipe.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't matter because, this weapon that you get fairly easily is going to be better than anything you can get later on. Like, it's almost better. So the Twisted Bow, which is, known as, like, it's like the most expensive item in the game. It's like 1.2 bill. I think even it is, like, it's probably on par or better than the blowpipe for different reasons, but still the comparison is so thin that it's kind of just funny to me. I think that, I think the main thing here is it's trying to, because it's hard to introduce new content and, because if you're making just everything better than the last thing, like, so, okay, the blowpipe is the best item in the game, or the Twisted Bow is, so we'll make something better than it, but it's just harder and harder and harder to get these other tiers because, the blowpipe is still just superior, so... I don't know, it's going to be... And the blowpipe wasn't even the only thing getting nerfed. Obviously, it was just, like, the biggest cause of issue. And I don't have the patch notes open right now. I think what they proposed is, it's going to be more based off of the darts you use now. So, the higher tier darts can get you closer to what the blowpipe used to be. So it's going to make you... Because, you have to have pretty high smithing to make, like, dragon darts. I don't even know if you can, actually. Maybe you have to just buy them. I'm not sure. But, you're going to have to actually work for it now if you want the blowpipe to be how it was going to be. So
yeah. And see, I can agree with that, because that's how it's always been. If you want to do more damage, get better arrows. That's just how it's always been. And I think maybe tuning that a little bit on the blowpipe is definitely the way to go for them to make this a successful thing. And I will say that I do think that a lot of the problem that RuneScape has is one of the things that I love about old school RuneScape, and it's that they implemented a voting system so players can vote for what they like and don't like. So while that, I think, helps the longevity of this game, I think it also hurts the longevity of this game, because then the players feel betrayed when they don't get a choice in something like this when it comes up.
That's such a good point.
So, now I feel like the community of RuneScape is so spoiled that they don't want to be a part of the game changing in a way that they see as a negative light because they are so used to doing it one way and not willing to adapt or change.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you just upset like the whole PvP community because they have been crying and begging for updates for years, and Jagex only pays attention to us PVMers.
I agree. And here's the thing though, like I play a ton of MMOs. A ton. And I think anyone who comes to my Twitch channel will understand that I play a lot. I play Guild Wars, I play Elder Scrolls Online, I play World of Warcraft, I play RuneScape, I'm going to play New World when it comes out, Ashes of Creation. I play all of them because I enjoy it. But I play all of those with the exception of RuneScape because I enjoy the PvP. I play PvP predominantly in every game except for RuneScape. Now, Jagex, you want to tell me that there isn't a problem with PvP in this game?
Right.
Why? Do we want to have this conversation right now? Because I can, and you will not enjoy it, Jagex. I will tear this game down from the PvP down. I swear.
I just could, and I'm not saying this because I'm afraid of the wilderness, because I am. I'll admit it. I'm a big scaredy cat, but I just have no desire to play this game to kill other players. Like, that is not what I'm playing this game for at all. And I hate that so much content is locked out into the wilderness because I want to do it, and if it wasn't for the fact that and it's not just because I'm a hardcore Iron Man, because even on my main account I was still afraid to go into the wilderness.
You didn't want to go out there.
No, I didn't want to lose my stuff. I didn't play the game, I worked hard for that gold, damn it, and I didn't want to lose it to some other guy that's gonna barrage me, and then I'm just dead. I can't move.
And that's true, but let me remind you when we were kids playing this game, right? And we were making like alt accounts to specifically go out in the wilderness because before all this switching and like reset EKing and shit like that came out. And do you honestly want my opinion on how to fix PvP in this game? Honestly?
Yeah, sure.
Take away switches.
So
take away the ability to switch armor and weapons that quickly. Make it to a point to where it is almost useless. Bring it back to its virgins, like the way it was, where you basically, for you to be meta, you go out and you pick what you play. You are either a, range mage combo, or you are a, pretty much that. And you can go out as melee if you want, and you can see and you can try, but make it to where that when you switch armor, it takes just that much longer of a tick to where you can still get hit by some serious specs. And I think that not only would change the way PvP goes, I think it would bring it back to a point where they will be able to look at their PvP system and be like, okay, now we're back at a base of where it used to be. So now let's look at it and see what we can do to make it better. Because realistically, taking 3 sets out into the wilderness, right?
Uh-huh.
And then when you get killed, losing pretty much none of the important stuff,
right,
just doesn't make sense to me. If you're willing to go out there with that kind of big dick level of items, I think you deserve to lose it. I really do. Because I remember back in the day where you went out into the PvP world and you were either you pretty much used a magic shortbow, and then you had a mystic top, black dragonhide bottoms, and then whatever helmet you really wanted. It's really up to you, but I always used a mystic hat, and then you had ancients. And if you didn't hit your ancients because you're using some range gear, well, sucks to suck. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's really what I think PvP needs to go back to. It makes PvP a little bit more enjoyable and easier for other people to get into. So the people who, like you, want to do content can go out into the wilderness and not necessarily feel as threatened because you're not afraid someone's going to come at you with dragon claws and
or a clan.
Or a clan. Okay, look, the clan's going to happen regardless. But you feel like if it's in a 1v1 scenario, you have a little bit more of a shot. It's not you're going to get blown out of the water. You know what I mean? Because if you watch PvP now, it's almost ridiculous. Like, you're just sitting there watching someone just click half the
Dude,
half the
it's such a
fight.
it's such a spaz.
Yeah, it's a spaz. It doesn't look controlled. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't how you go about it. Maybe I just upset some people.
Dude, the whole PvP community just called you a filthy casual.
And you're right. They probably did. But if they want PvP to start getting updates and to get fixed, you have to start from ground zero, where the problem started. And in my opinion, where it started here in old school RuneScape was literally right at the beginning.
Tri-breading. I mean, I follow your point. I'm not sure how they would implement that though, unless they literally just
It would be so difficult.
Slow down they'd have to slow down the tick of like the whole game.
Yeah, they would have to slow down item ticks, and that would be such a problem.
Oh,
and that would be a problem for PvEers too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So then PvPers can't complain that it's only affecting them. It's not. It's affecting everyone to a degree. But I think that it would affect the almost more frame-perfect PvP aspect.
See, so my thing is, right, so like they've put all this dope-ass content out there, quests and stuff like that are important for the game. Like a lot of the Mage Arena Cape is a very crucial item to an account, but to go out into the wilderness, you have to brave these PKers. But nothing in the game teaches you how to PK. Nothing teaches you how to defend yourself against these people. So how am I supposed to go out and enjoy or learn this content if I'm just, standing there like, oh, what do I click? While this guy's like clicking 5,000 different things at once, switching, dragon hosta claws, and I'm like, I can't even freaking move. Like, how do you defend against that when they don't teach you that in the game?
And that's true. And to your point there, other games, like, let's use Guild Wars 2 because I just played it tonight, for example. The PvP, there's no loss. You don't lose.
You lose your stuff, right?
You get to practice. There's a way to practice. Now, arguably, yeah, you can practice. You can go to, like, Soul Wars. You can go to Castle Wars, stuff like that. But it's not necessarily the same.
No.
Like, I think most people who do competitive PvP in almost any game will tell you that if you go to, like, a world versus, or, like, a game mode, like, where it's, like, a 6v6 scenario, or, like, a competitive game mode scenario versus, like, a world versus world scenario where it's just like a big group battle where you just kind of blend into the number, it's completely different. There is nothing that's going to like be similar in any way, shape, or form. So I think that maybe a training implement would also be okay. Maybe something that helps people, but again, that's not what the PvPers want. PvPers are wanting literally anything.
They just want to ruin the fun for everyone else. Is what they want.
I don't think that's it either, because some people enjoy PvP, and I think this game, I want people to play this game for what they enjoy it for. If you enjoy the PvP, I don't know why the hell you would right now, but
right now especially, yeah.
Yeah, and you do you. I'm glad you enjoy it. But you're right, like, I do think that the wilderness is a thing of the past. I think they need to implement maybe we get to a point where wilderness goes away and then it's only PvP worlds.
You know what they could do? They could just even make a world separate where you can't like get killed by people in the wilderness or something. Or make it like even if they made it like a hardcore Iron Man specific thing. I don't know. They could just make a world where you cannot get killed by other people, that you don't know how to... Obviously, there's still very dangerous things in the wilderness, like, I don't know, the freaking big bear. What's he called? Callisto, yeah. Thank you. Calypso's an alcohol. I don't have a problem, you do. So yeah, I mean, there's still things that can one bang you out there. So I still have, like Mage Arena 2 blows my mind. Okay, you have to not only find these bosses that spawn randomly in the wilderness, you also have to defend against them, and then any other pricks that come and try to kill you at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think I would actually like that idea better, where hardcore Ironmen get their own world. I think I like that a lot.
I think that would still piss some people off because they're like, well, they're getting special treatment. And, I mean, obviously, yes. But, like, it's just... even if they made a world just in general for anybody that wanted to have like a safe wilderness from other players, I think that would still probably upset people because I would imagine most people probably wouldn't play on the PvP worlds anymore.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think that would upset people, but I think the hardcore. I think you're right. Let's only do hardcore. I think if you only do hardcore or like even just Ironman worlds, right? Because
that's not upsetting the economy because they're Iron Men. So it's not like they can go out and loot a bunch of things and then, upset the economy.
Exactly. They're not doing anything. So really, it's just, at that point, it's a quality of life for Iron Men.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be a good way to go about doing that.
But, I do too.
Fixing PvP as a whole, you got to start from the beginning. Yeah, you got to start from the bottom and you're still there. Like, that's basically where you're at right now, in my opinion, for this game.
This is a little bit of a tangent, but have you ever watched or seen, like, RS3 PKing?
Oh, dude. Yeah. It's very similar to how, like, new age MMO PKing goes.
It's a trip, dude. Like, I was watching, like, it's weird, man. It's, like, a whole nother thing.
Yeah, but it's like I said, very similar to new age PvP with the skills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where it shines and why it's potentially maybe better.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing, because old school RuneScape has this disadvantage where, dog, we don't have skills. Like, we get special attacks and basic swings.
You got RNG and click the spec bar.
Yeah, and so, like, in other MMOs, that's another thing. In other MMOs, if you go up against, like, if I play a certain class and I go up against another class, it's a guaranteed loss. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I can beat them because they're a hard counter to my class.
Yeah, if you play rock, paper, scissors wrong, you lose.
Exactly. Now, occasionally, you do get that lucky win, but in this game, it's basically it's RNGesus. Go to the duel arena and watch literally anything and tell me that I'm not right.
The duel arena is literally RNG, yes. That's literally, like, yes. I do actually feel like, though, PvPing in RuneScape, I feel like, or old school RuneScape, I feel like it does take skill, though, because the clicks, you just have to be faster. That's all it is, really. You just have to click faster. And, I mean, like, we have, obviously there's, like, prayer switches and there's all kinds of different magic spells, but there's a very clear, again, going back to the power creep with, like, the blowpipe, there's a very clear and cut, like, superior spells, which in this case is like, Ice Barrage to freeze you for whatever it is, 15 seconds or something like that. And then, then it's just game over.
Yeah, exactly. And see, even then, though, like, you don't see a whole lot of barraging anymore. Back when we were kids, barraging was what you did.
Yeah, you Ice Barraged, yeah.
Yeah, and now you don't even do that. Now it's just, you have so many weapons that can just fucking two-tap you that it doesn't matter.
Exactly, yeah.
So
it's a whole thing. So that all stemmed off of something from the blowpipe nerf. I don't know how.
Yeah, exactly.
But going back to the nerfs, the upcoming nerfs, which also, just to reiterate, we don't have a release on them anymore. We did. It was already going to have happened like probably almost a month ago at this point when they announced it, because they announced it and then there was like, I didn't think the backlash was that bad. But apparently on Reddit, it was, I don't know. I don't go on Reddit because it's a cesspool, but
literal cesspool.
But apparently they were just really ragging on Jagex and they felt bad, I guess. So they just pulled it. They're like, okay, this is still coming, but we're gonna really work on it. So, and we haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake on Jagex's part.
They should have just done it, yeah. They should have just done it.
If they would have just ripped that Band-Aid off, we wouldn't even be talking
because now they're going to bring it up in a month or two or whenever, and people are going to get just upset again.
Yep.
And
so they got to treat us like children. Like, just do it.
Yeah, because if they're not pulling it, which they're not doing, Jagex is doing this without, consent, basically. And so if they're going to do that anyway, why wait for our permission? Why wait and push it off? I understand they're saying they're going to make it better, they're going to do better, but they should have just already done it. I'm trying to remember all of the major things. I think a lot of things were more or less major than the blowpipe. That was obviously the biggest deal. These freaking minnows are, gosh, I'm sorry. So like they nerfed the Netsanot face guard, which Necro, if you don't know, that's like the upgraded version of the Netsanot helm.
I do know that, yeah.
So that's like the currently best in slot helmet, the Netsanot helm with this face guard. It's the best in slot helmet for like, you know, casual melee and stuff.
Oh, cool. The Netsanot helm is again the best in slot. Now imagine that.
But they added a face guard because they can't add new items to the game because we won't let them. So
True.
So anyway, that's getting like a nerf in some way or another, but it's very minor. I don't remember the exact details. I'm sorry, I don't have the post. One of the biggest ones was the change to like Dragonhide, like blue Dragonhide, red Dragonhide, black Dragonhide, all those. I think what they're doing, again, I'm so sorry I don't have the news post up, so I'm very unofficial right now. I think they're changing it to where it's not as big of a, you know how you were literally saying earlier in PvP you had the Mystic top on and the black Dragonhide bottoms.
Yeah.
I think basically what they're doing is changing it to where that's not as effective, and it's like the Dragonhide is more of a, you know, it's like a starter range armor instead of a, you know, because currently it's like black Dragonhide is almost kind of best in slot. Obviously it's not because there's Blessed Dragonhide and then there's like, you know, Void and all those things, but like Dragonhide in general is pretty much one of the main ranging armors.
I think they're going off of like price point to effectiveness is what they're doing here.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to look at it. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't remember the exact notes. Those were the biggest differences I think I remember, and like I said, the blowpipe was the main cause of the concern because that's just like literally the go-to ranged weapon. Even if you have like bronze darts, it's better than most. But they did also talk about buffing some things as well. A lot of people didn't mention or pay attention to that. Like I think some of the Barrow's armor, I think Carol's in particular, they were wanting to make that more effective since ranging is such a big hot topic with the blowpipe getting nerfed and the twisted bow and all that.
I would love to see some Barrow's upgrades.
That would be cool.
I would love to see some Barrow's armor just again become so good that it's like where it was when we were, you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be cool to see Barrows in a new light and get those, because I don't know if you've looked at Barrows lately. Shit's cheap as hell.
So that's like, I think that's a lot of the problem is old school RuneScape has a gratuitous amount of early game content, you know, like armors and things like that. Like the first like 10 tiers of weapons like bronze, iron, steel, mithril, half the time you skip those and go straight to, you know, adamant or rune. They have so much early game content, and they obviously have way too much end game content, but they don't have enough for like the mid game. And I think that's what they're trying to fix here with these nerfs by making the blowpipe more of a middle range thing instead of the literal late game. And they're trying to, you know, be able to be able to implement more middle game concepts. They have to change the whole hierarchy of where weapons are now, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's what they try and do. Because again, like I said, I would love to see some Barrow's armor be great.
That'd be cool.
I think that would be fantastic.
I have right now on my account, I have one piece of Barrow's armor. And would you like to try to guess what it is?
I hope it's a Carol's coif.
It's not. It's actually a decent piece. Let me go.
Okay. So is it Torag's legs?
No, that's not a decent piece. What are you talking about?
Torag's legs have the highest defense out of them all.
They're tank legs, sure. Hold on.
Yeah, you're a baby and don't like to get hit. Remember? We had this conversation.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm checking my bank here. It's a chest plate of some sort. Oh, it's the Guthan's plate body. I got the dad bod.
Oh yeah, that's literally the ugliest one.
But it's like a good piece of armor at least. The Guthan set is not a bad set to have a piece on.
True, yeah. Like it could have been worse for you. You could have got Darox.
Yeah, Darox pretty much has no use to me. I need like an Aram's like top and bottom, and like the Carol's top and bottom. Those are like the best.
You could use Darox if you wanted to like max your strength and attack and defense.
In Nightmare Zone? Oh, Nightmare Zone is so boring. I hate it so much.
Dude, remember when I streamed and started streaming and I did Nightmare Zone?
Maxed your combat?
Time?
Yeah, I do remember
played
that.
like Rainbow Six and did Nightmare Zone at the same time.
Yeah, it sucks, dude.
I'm such a god.
It's so boring. Yeah, but what every other one of your skills is like 2.
I mean, you're right. But
Dude,
fine.
Dude, I have 64 rune crafting. That's my lowest skill.
Fuck you.
My
God.
my construction is also 64.
My construction's 85.
See, that's like the one besides your
Slayer. Oh, I got my Slayer to 89, by the way.
Oh, nice. Mine's only 70. So you can almost kill the Hydra. You can get on the Hydra's back.
I'm not even close.
What is the Hydra, 92? Or I thought it was 90.
95.
Is it 95?
I think so. Hang on.
Yeesh. I don't freaking know this game anymore, dude.
Yeah, 95 for Hydras.
That's insanity.
I can almost kill Cerberus, though.
Have you ever fought Cerberus?
No, but I really want to.
I've never fought him. He looks so hard.
No, he looks easy.
Apparently they just changed something to Cerberus. Actually, I don't remember what it was exactly. They either nerfed him or buffed him or something like that. I don't remember. They're in the zone for that lately. So yeah, so that's like I think that's pretty much all of the big stuff on the nerfs. The main thing obviously being the blowpipe. There's a lot of opinions about it, good or bad. I feel like the chance to add in more cool items, and especially ones that I can use to help me, get out of this mid-range, because if I wanted to go fight Zulrah right now or something like that to get a blowpipe, I would die because I don't have good enough gear. Because right now the best gear I can get is basically from Barrows, and that's just a luck thing. I know the chances aren't that high, and I know that's like a step in everyone's account as they go through the Barrows grind, but right now I'm just kind of playing that on luck. So that's just where we're at there. Did you want to add anything else onto the nerfs and stuff before we move on, Necro?
Yeah, I guess as far as nerfs, guys, nerfs and just content in general, just understand that Jagex says that they have the right to go over our heads and do what they feel like is best for the longevity of the game. They have literally said that.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they're going to do something, I'm not saying don't express your distaste or just your, in this case, complete and utter hatred for it.
Yeah.
But understand that if you don't get your way, throwing a fit like a child doesn't always get you your way.
No, and see, that's the thing is, honestly, I don't know how frequent you are on Twitter, but every time they post something on the the old school RuneScape Twitter, it's just people bitching, and I'm like, why? Jagex tries to do so much, and I understand they're not the best company, and I know they have their flaws, sure. Especially
they're not Blizzard, so shut up.
Especially in their customer support, I know account recovery and stuff is a big issue. Actually,
yes, their customer support needs.
That's a big thing going on right now. We can talk about that after that. A lot of accounts are locked out right now. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, Jagex is going to do what Jagex is going to do regardless for their game. They're going to pull stuff that they want us. I said this before, and I think actually you just said it. Basically, Jagex is going to, if they have a big plan, like a big release, they're going to just do it. They're not going to ask us for it, regardless. They're going to put it in no matter what. I was surprised. You remember when they tried to pull a new skill for old school RuneScape, whatever it was called, warding or whatever?
Yeah.
I was surprised. So that didn't pass the poll twice, I think. And they didn't release it, and I was really surprised. I thought they were going to push it, but they didn't. And you know what? Honestly, that could have been a solution to this power creep now, because that was going to add in magic armors or something like that, or the ability to add maybe tiers to your armor. I don't know, but it could have fixed some of this in some way, Yeah,
it could have fixed some things, but again, you guys don't like change.
I do. I think a new skill would have been weird, but I do think it would have been fine. I wouldn't have complained.
Here's the thing, though. Eventually, we're gonna have to. You can't sit on the same skill. Can you imagine if World of Warcraft never released new classes from their originals?
Yeah, exactly.
It would be like Classic WoW is now, literally dead. With the exception of the fact that the Burning Crusade expansion's coming out again, and now it's not as dead. So but again, it's going to die soon. Again.
Yeah, exactly. So like you said, this game I get it, okay? People play old school RuneScape because it's nostalgic. They get it. They play it because it's the game they played when they were, in middle school, and they want to, and I get that because that's what I play this game for too. But literally, this game is nothing like it once was. There's already so many different things, and I feel like eventually they're going to add a new skill. I don't see a timeline where Jagex at some point doesn't put in a new skill. I just feel like that's going to happen sometime.
I guess my biggest argument is that if you truly care about this game, like I think most of us do, and let's be honest, like I haven't played in months, but I mean I played, but like I'll get on and I'll do a couple things and then I'll be like, all right, well, I'm done. But I've kept my sub going because I care. Like I enjoy this company, I enjoy what they do, and I'm glad that they did this, what we have now.
Oh, for sure. If anything, sorry to interrupt you just real quick. If anything, I think the game is better with so many of the quality of life things they've added alone. Anyway, go ahead.
Exactly. But I think if we all enjoy the game as much as I think we do, we need to let them do with what they think is the best for the game. Like, they haven't steered us wrong yet. They listen to us when we verbally complain, obviously. Maybe it's time we let them kind of do their thing. Maybe they know what they're talking about. And if they don't, do you think that... I think they'll fix it. Like, if they mess up, I think they would fix it. And I think they would own up to it.
Yeah, for sure. Jagex is very well known for, like, resetting the game even,
Exactly. So I think maybe we're at a point in the game where they just want to get ahead of it before it becomes a problem of losing a player base.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying, guys. That's it. Let them do what they want with their game. Sometimes. Now, I'm not saying, again, I think you should definitely voice your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But just keep in mind, sometimes it is just that, an opinion.
Yeah, Jagex is I mean, they've made plenty of awful decisions and updates. I mean, so that's every company, every developer does something their fan base doesn't. Ow, sorry, I just bit my tongue. Something they don't like, and I mean, we'll get through it. If it's bad enough, they'll take it away like they did for Bounty Hunter. I mean, they'll take stuff out of the game if it's ruining something. They'll fix it, like you said. So
yeah, exactly, they'll fix it. It may ruin something for a little while, but it will get fixed.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that. Yeah, I think that's all we can really say. Jagex is going to do what Jagex is going to do. I think that sums it up pretty much.
That pretty much sums it up, yeah.
We are just the poll system is just like a thing to be like, hey, we're keeping you in mind, kid, but we're still going to do it no matter what, probably.
Just think of the poll system as politics in America.
Okay, quite literally, though.
You don't really get listened to for the most part.
Like, they're like, okay, that looks like we just get lucky that normally everything passes the poll. Jagex is secretly like, we were going to do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, they're... Just look at it that way.
So that's actually, I mentioned it a couple seconds ago, moving ahead here. There was like a couple weeks ago, I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks now. There was some downtime on old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3 or whatever it's called. I don't know if it's just called RuneScape now or what. But like, so there was some downtime. People got logged out. People couldn't log into a game. Like nobody could for like 20, 30 minutes. And then it got worse and kept getting worse and worse and worse. And finally, people were starting to be able to get back into the game. But some people's, so a lot of, not progress was lost, but like they had to roll the game back for some reason. And when they rolled it back, some people just couldn't log back into their game. And like still today, like 2 to 3 weeks later, people are like locked out of their accounts. And Jagex is like, oh, frick, we gotta like refund all these memberships now. And it's like, I don't know exactly what's going on because they're not telling us anything. That's one other thing Jagex is very bad about, is they don't update us at all. So it's like people are like furious because they can't play the game still. And like, they're like, we gotta lock you out of your account, bro, so we can like fix it. And they're like, what does that mean? So it's more so just on the live game. I think old school RuneScape for the most part is good, but I don't know if they got DDoSed or what happened. I don't know if like accounts got reset. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty big deal over on the RuneScape 3 servers right now.
Jeez, dude. I mean, I've seen that, but like, okay, so here's my counter argument to that. Get off RuneScape 3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair. It did happen to old school RuneScape as well, though, just not as at such a serious level.
Yeah, see, there you go. Problem solved. Just hop on over here. I'll see you here in like 20 minutes after watching this video if you play RS3. Okay. Okay.
Oh man, so I don't know what's going on, and like I said, that's people are pissed because like every couple of days, Jagex will post something on Twitter and be like, "Hey, here's an update on the account lockout thing. We're still working on stuff, and we'll be sure to keep you up." And then like they never say anything, and people are like, "Why are you even making these updates if you're not telling us anything?" And they of course never say anything after that. And so I don't know. It's crazy. I did see though, like today or yesterday, they posted that they're getting months of membership refunded, and I think some events got extended for those that obviously couldn't get on the game to play. Because RuneScape 3 has like an event every other week. Like it'll be like, oh, triple prayer XP this week, or stuff like that.
Oh God, hey, that's one other thing that I think RuneScape, old school RuneScape should do.
No,
double XP.
No.
I know they should totally.
That's That's a very bad. Do not.
That is a bad idea. Please don't listen to me. Please.
Because
that's not a real thing I want.
Because people would get so pissed because account. Yeah, that would no.
That'd be a problem. Yeah.
Oh, I could not even imagine if they did. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this or not, because it was another like this nerf. It was another big deal, but it was such a big deal that they didn't do it. Old school RuneScape was talking about like cosmetics, like RuneScape 3 has now, and Jagex was like very adamant that they were not going to be like game changing. They were going to literally just be cosmetic. But old school RuneScape was like, or not old school RuneScape, I'm sorry, the player base was like, no, that's a slippery slope down to, loot boxes and all that stuff. And it was such a big outroar. I think it didn't pass the poll a couple times. And then Jagex was like, I think people were like boycotting the game. We're like, we don't want this to turn into what RuneScape, the live game, is now. So that was one of the, besides that and the warding skill. I'm trying to think of any other times we've had such a bad outreach, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they, do any of that, or if they bring it over to old school RuneScape eventually. I don't know. If they ever do go that route, or the evolution of combat finds its way back, because they're porting a lot of stuff from the live game into old school RuneScape now. We're going to talk about that, I think, if we have time. So I mean, I could see them doing something like that. I don't know, man.
Yeah. What is our time at?
We are at 52 minutes.
All right. So I think what we should do is, why don't we just kind of speed run a few of these other ones that we have here? And for instance, let's talk about the release of RuneScape on Steam.
Oh yeah, old school RuneScape and RuneScape itself are both on Steam.
Yeah. So what's your so? I think everyone, if you've heard me talk about it, I think my wife is tired of hearing me talk about the RuneScape release on Steam. She laughs currently while I'm talking about it because she knows my feelings towards it. But what are your feelings towards it?
I think it was, cool that it's on Steam now, and I hope that it helped increase the player base. Like when mobile was released, when old school RuneScape released on mobile, dude, it brought so many players to the game. And I was hopeful that the release on Steam would do the same.
Yeah. Now, what if I told you that the release on Steam did almost little to nothing?
Yeah, but did it though? Did it not really do anything?
So, the player base when it released, and yes, I did monitor this because I was genuinely curious.
Okay.
The player base did increase for a week. And then everything dropped back down to about normal.
Okay, sounds about right.
Now, here's where my problem is with this. Because it's no secret, ladies and gents, I was not a fan of this. 470. I think that while it was a good idea for genuine, exposure...
Yes.
That was all it was. Because you already have your platform of mobile. Arguably, this game is more successful than the main game on mobile. Okay, and that's just simply because this game is more simplistic than the main game.
Yeah, I don't even actually know if the main game is on mobile yet. I know they were talking about it coming to mobile.
Maybe it's not, but I know it will be.
It's very soon. Yes, if it's not, it's very soon.
Yeah, and either way, it will be more successful simply because of the simplicity of this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Pff, I could not freaking imagine playing RuneScape 3 on your phone.
Exactly. So that's your platform. Now, where I think RS3 shines would be on Steam. And so the fact that they released it on Steam and it's done very well. In fact, a couple people who I know who didn't play RuneScape previously saw it on Steam and were like, oh, yeah, I'm totally going to hop on. Like, why would I not? Now, that was RS3 or the main game, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Where they were excited.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when old school RuneScape popped back in to Steam, the first questions that I heard was why? Reason being is because you're not going to use a Steam client to play this game. And if you're still using the main game client, I don't know what you're doing with yourself, honestly. Like, no one wants to use those main game clients and the Steam game clients because, let's face it, quality of life is a thing. We all talk about, and we were just talking about it, how people say they want the most virgin experience they can of RuneScape.
No, you
and
don't.
And here they come in playing RuneLite or playing on RuneLite. Like, no, you don't. Shut up. You're not doing puzzle boxes like we did back in the day. Your shit's getting solved for you. And don't get me wrong, I love that because I hate puzzle boxes.
Dude, I so agree with you there because that was one thing that I was excited about the Steam release, and then I'm like, oh, but then I can't use RuneLite.
And that's the biggest deal. And we were talking about this earlier, the achievements. I did look this up. The achievements did not work at first. They do now, but again, what do the achievements on Steam do for you in the game? Nothing.
Nope.
They do literally nothing. I get that some of you maybe are achievement hunters, but you've also been playing this game long before that, it was out on Steam. So why do you care all of a sudden? In fact, you know what? There are literally achievement diaries that you can do that are more beneficial than everything else.
Yes.
On the Steam client. So to me, while I think that, okay, cool, it's on Steam, yay, people can stumble upon it, I don't think that it really did anything for the game. I think it was a useless tactic. I think it worked for a week, and now it's probably just sitting there not gathering anything. Like, and even if it is, even assuming that people are playing off that Steam client, right? They're going to find out pretty quickly, oh, hey, they're going to start watching videos on YouTube like, oh, yeah, what is he using? Because all these things, all these blocks are highlighted and, all this. How do you get that? And then they're going to look into it. They're going to find out. And whether it be OS Buddy or RuneLite, which it better be RuneLite.
I don't think OS Buddy's a thing anymore.
Oh, well, either way, RuneLite, then, you're going to immediately switch to RuneLite and be like, well, why was I using Steam in the first place?
Yeah,
it uses less RAM. It's just all around a better system. And so to me, it was useless. It was stupid, and I'm tired of hearing about it, RuneScape. Stop popping up on my YouTube feed.
Yeah, I agree. And to go on one of your earlier points, you said RuneScape 3 or the live game saw pretty decent success coming to Steam, and I think one of the reasons is because RuneScape is a game meant for Steam. That is a big, expansive RPG with lots of... It's a pretty game. It's a beautiful game. It's got all of this new stuff to dive into. But like you said, why would players that are on Steam care about playing an older version of that game? Old school RuneScape is not a good game design. It's not meant for Steam because it just doesn't make sense to have two versions of the same game on Steam.
Exactly. And so that's my tangent. I did want to touch on that because I feel like I haven't heard anyone say anything about it. And so I don't think I'm the first one, and I can almost guarantee you I'm not the first one, but in my mind I'm the first one. And so I wanted that clout for myself. So yeah, it sucks, and it was a waste of money and promotion time.
I mean, maybe, I don't know about that. I feel like if it brought any players to the game, it was at least a small success. I don't know how much money they spent on it. I mean, I guess they'd have to probably spend quite a bit to get it on Steam. You're right, but I don't know. I don't feel like it was a tactic per se. I don't think Jagex was like trying to lure in players. I think they were really just trying to get their game out there. But I do agree. I don't really think it did much, and I think it was kind of you know what I wish they would do, and I made a video on this, and it's actually pretty popular. Is I wish you could, and I know it doesn't make any sense because again, you wouldn't be able to use your client, RuneLite. But if let's just say in a perfect world, we could play RuneScape on like a console, right? Like you get the PS5 or the Switch. The Switch would be perfect because you can play it mobile or docked.
Now, I do think that is coming. I do think that is a thing. In fact, I have seen several things where you can actually hook your controller up to your PC and use your mouse in RuneScape.
That'd be pretty cool.
So, it is definitely a thing that can happen, and I do hope that
it would be cool. I don't know if it's like gonna happen. I don't know how that would have to be. I don't know. I feel like the point in time has passed. Like I feel like it's too late for RuneScape to be on a console. I guess it's on Steam, so anything can probably happen. It's probably never too late. Like 3 Days Grace once said. But I don't know. I feel like if it was just like, oh, you can now play old school RuneScape on PS5, I feel like people aren't going to give a shit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was more speaking on like RuneScape 3 is what I meant.
Okay.
Like I don't think old school RuneScape will ever have a home on any console other than the Switch. And even then I don't know how I feel about it.
I could definitely see the live game, the game that gets, all the new stuff. I could see that being like a thing they have like in the PlayStation Store that you can, it's free, but you have like, the cosmetics and shit you can buy and all that stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that is definitely a thing that could be done, and I think they should definitely look into that. And with them being bought out again, I think that is something that maybe...
Yeah, they did just get bought out again, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that is something that will be coming in the future. I do think you should be looking for MMOs that have been exclusive on PC for a long time coming to consoles. I think you should all start looking for that because I will predict that will start happening.
Bro, speaking of big MMOs that are on PC and then went to console, did you ever play Genshin Impact?
No.
You didn't? Dude,
No,
that game
my
was...
wife did,
and
then my roommate does.
I was gonna say it's right up your alley, bro. It's like
Everyone says that, but it's not.
Well, because you play as cute little girls. Is that why you don't like it?
I don't like it because it's not an MMO.
Oh, it's not?
No, it is a single player, almost Breath of the Wild style game.
Oh. All right. Well, fair enough. I have no idea. I made a video over it as I didn't know what I was doing, obviously, but yeah, so I don't know. Also, I just realized how creepy it sounded when I said, "You want to play with pretty little girls?" I didn't mean it like that. I was just like,
I am a weeb.
You don't want to play as a girl, is what I was getting at. My RuneScape character is a female, and she takes offense to that, mister.
I do not want to play as a lolly.
Okay, that's fair. Anyway, so yeah, we were talking about RuneScape on console. I don't know. It'd be cool, there's so much of this game that I would like to get caught up on, but I just don't think we have the time in this episode. There's lots of things that we wanted to talk about. We got the main points out of the way. We really wanted to talk about the state of the game, and that's what I'm going to name this episode. Because with the nerfs happening and the accounts restrictions and a lot is changing. It coming to Steam. All of these things. Yeah, the things are happening with RuneScape and old school RuneScape specifically, and I'm not trying to be biased here. I do feel like old school RuneScape gets a little bit more attention like on YouTube and Twitch than the live game does. Is that fair to say, probably?
That is fair to say, but the player base of RS3 is still there, and I think just as big as old school.
Sure, absolutely. I'm just thinking like... I don't remember what my point was.
I think your point is probably somewhere along the lines of RuneScape is changing, it's evolving, it's an exciting time, but also maybe considered a scary time by some players because of the changes. And I think that the state of the game currently it's stagnant, and they're trying to fix it.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So the game is changing in many different ways, and it, like you said, it is scaring people, and it's new. But old school RuneScape has always been like a pretty decent. Like if you make RuneScape content, it's not super hard to get out there because it's pretty popular and widespread. Over Twitch, I think it's ranked in the top 10 or so of like the most viewed on Twitch, isn't it?
It's in the top 20. I won't say top
10. 20, okay. I know it's in there. So I mean, it's just, it's always had like a special niche of people, and I feel like that's changing. I feel like it's almost becoming more, not necessarily mainstream, but I feel like Jagex is trying to make it that way with it coming to Steam and, going mobile. They're trying to, they made a, they have those gazettes like every month or so where they just release like a dump truckload of information. I think they mentioned at one point that they want RuneScape to be on as many things as possible. And at the time, we thought that meant it was coming to console, and then obviously what they were getting at was it's coming to Steam, which is still huge in and of itself. I feel like it's just going to continue that, like, Jagex wants it on consoles. Jagex wants you to be able to play this game anywhere, and I feel like if it does eventually get that far, maybe it will become a mainstream thing, and then maybe they'll eventually take old school RuneScape down the slippery slope of RuneScape 3 with cosmetics and stuff like that. It's interesting to see. It's a good time to be a RuneScaper, Necro.
It is, and I do want everyone to keep an open mind with everything that is coming out. I do think that we should give a little bit more faith, put a little bit more faith into Jagex, let them do what they're going to do for some things, and just see where the game goes. Like, don't get so caught up in what you're used to that you're afraid to evolve and change, because that is literally the worst thing you can do in life and in video games.
Wow, beautifully spoken. That was so deep.
Thank you.
So yeah, that was our big spiel. We had other things we're going to talk about, like things we've missed. Like Soul Wars is a thing. That's a whole situation I haven't even like touched. There's like a whole island there with like dungeons and things.
Am I hinting at a video, or is there a hint at a video of Soul Wars coming out soon?
Maybe we need to. Oh, dude, you know what? You remember that video I made of me messing around in Castle Wars? It's like my most disliked video ever because I titled it like "Get the easiest wins in Castle Wars," and it's me standing there. The thumbnail is so good. It's me standing there, and the guy's behind me like stealing the flag. It's so good, and people hated it because it was very clearly a clickbait. And anyway, we can make videos like that, just messing around in Soul Wars, and it would be a hit. But I would like to try out that new content. Also, old school RuneScape had its 8th birthday. That's wild.
Yeah, they're in like what, 2nd grade now?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate actually.
Oh, really? I just guessed.
Yeah, because I remember being 10 in 4th grade. I don't know why. That's a weird memory I have.
That is a weird memory, but yeah, cool. I'm awesome.
So, so old school RuneScape has been re-released for 8 years now. That's pretty crazy. Just to think of like everything that's happened. Remember when you couldn't shift click to drop? You had to right click to drop everything? What? Hell no.
Have nightmares tonight now.
And you know what else is funny is you can turn that feature off. Like people are like, no, I gotta play the game like it used to be. I can't be tempted to shift click.
Look, I'm just saying, I think everyone who's complaining about everything that's new coming, we should force them to literally play on no client and only the original settings.
Yeah, no RuneLight. You gotta forget it. You can't use RuneLight or do anything, nice. Dude, you know, like, there's, like, quest helpers now. Like, it'll just do the quest. Well, it won't do it for you, but, like, it'll be like, oh, walk here to complete the quest. Like, it'll tell you exactly how to do it. It's crazy.
Maybe I need that, so I'll actually be...
I think it's a separate... It's a separate plugin you have to download for RuneLite. Like, there's one for Zulrah that will, like, just outline the pattern for you so you know, like, what to switch to and, like, what he's gonna do. Like, it's cheating, bro, but Jagex says it's cool, so...
That's actually insane, but alright, whatever, I guess.
So, I don't know. It just feels good to play RuneScape again. It's been so long since I've just sat down and played... actually, it's been so long since I've just sat down and played a video game, but it feels nice to just have, you know... I'm glad you're here with me. I've just had a lot of fun tonight, dude, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me. I'm glad you dropped by the stream tonight, and I'm glad that we were able to make a video. It's been ages since we made one of these, and I was really excited to hop back on and kind of talk about the state of RuneScape and kind of get some stuff off of our chest about the game and how the RuneScape community is a bunch of little whiny... Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice to, you know, just kind of talk with you. And I wanted to make sure you go check out Necro's stream because he's doing things over there and he's growing very quickly. He's obviously very busy with life now as well.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
Dude, I mean, same. But like, so go ahead and please plug your Twitch one more time.
Yeah, the Twitch channel would be twitch.tv/necrocircus. That's a necrocircus with a 0.
He's got such a beautiful setup. Like, he's got like fancy transitions and cool ass art. Just go watch him, man. He's so much funnier than me, and he's got like fans and things. So he plays. What do you play? I don't even know what you do over there anymore.
Man, to be honest, right now we're kind of just sitting in a little stagnant area of streaming. Like, I really want some new games to come out. Like I said earlier, I play a lot of MMOs. I do a lot of PvP in a lot of those MMOs.
You still play ESO?
I haven't played ESO in a while. I started to download it today and immediately was just like, you know what, I don't feel like playing this right now. But I do a lot of first-person shooters. I'm pretty good at those.
Yeah,
I do, like I said, a lot of Guild Wars 2 PvP is what I'm currently on. And I switch games. I take suggestions. I play horror games. I play party games. I do community nights.
RuneScape.
I play RuneScape. I do a little bit of everything. So, you know, it's just a cool place for people to come, hang out, chill, and, you know, be yourself.
Oh, I'll come, all right.
Yeah, you will.
All right, we got to cut that out. Anyway,
everywhere. It's in my raccoon wound.
Stop. So, if you watched this whole thing for some reason, thank you for listening to our late night ramblings about our childhood video game. We're both 20 mid to late 20-year-old men.
I'm 29, sir. Like,
You're 29, bro. I'm gonna be 26 in a couple months.
Dude, you're old.
I know, bro, and we're playing this video game. We're getting pissed off about it. People are upset.
We're getting upset because, like, we live in a world where people can cry and get their way, and it just didn't work that way back in the day.
We're grown men playing a digital damn video game. Stop taking it so seriously.
Right? Honestly, calm down. If you're 12, I understand. If you're not, shut up.
So thank you for listening and watching. I say this every time I get like a wild hair and upload a video. I'm seriously trying to get back into. I'll probably never be able to get back into my daily upload because I just don't have the time to get the backlog. But I would like to try to get, even if it was like once a weekend or something, I would like to get back into a schedule of some kind. Even if I just did one of these every week with you, I would like to get back into something because I don't want to let the YouTube die. That channel, I don't know. I've said this story obviously on the channel before, but it was light years ago. This is my second attempt at a YouTube channel, and I'm not losing this one. I won't go into the details right now, but basically, it's only 300 subscribers, but I'm so proud of those 300 subscribers, and I feel like I'm letting you guys down because the subscriber count continues to grow, and I'm not making any videos, and I don't want to leave you guys in the dust. So I'm not giving up. So don't give up on me, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm sorry I'm rambling. I'm getting emotional. I love you guys. If you're still watching, thank you. Necro Circus, I love you. Thank you for being here. We're going to get ready to go, probably to sleep because we're both old men.
True. Also, let us know if you guys enjoyed this. We kind of quit doing them there for a bit because, it didn't seem like the content was really coming out that we really wanted to review. So if this is something that you'd enjoy, let us know and, comment on it. That way we know that you'd enjoy it.
Show us some love. If you're somehow new, if you found this video out in the wild, consider subscribing. I mostly do RuneScape content. That's my main thing. I used to do progress episodes on this account in particular, but I just have not had the time lately because of life. And I'm trying my best, I promise.
Head over to his OnlyFans for his favorite kind of games. That we'll talk about those later.
No. Shh.
Oh.
Anyway, bye.